What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Ask Mevo Anything. My name is Joseph, and I'm happy to be here with you today. And of course, I am not alone. I'm bringing in Will. Will, how is it going? How are you doing today, bud?
It's going good, man. It's going good. It's a nice day here in California. Pretty sunny. How about you? How's New York?
Awesome. New York is very, very cold.
Nice. I'm happy to
Yeah, it's
hear
like
that.
yeah, it was like 20 degrees yesterday. So enjoy that sunny weather in California.
For
But
sure.
awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to this is the very last ever episode of Ask Mevo Anything. That's pretty crazy.
It's very
So
crazy.
hopefully those watching in the chat or watching the show can join us in the chat and let us know your thoughts on that. But we have some exciting news about that, which we're going to get into further along in the show here. But first, as always, let's talk about our setups. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because we had some changes in our setups a little bit recently. And I'll go into my issues recently in a minute. But
Yeah.
Will, tell us what you got going on over there.
Yeah, so I am doing Mevo Start connected to my Windows 11 computer via wired webcam. And then for audio, I switched on my Encore 300 for a blackout spark. So hopefully my sound is slightly improved. I don't really know the difference, but I'm sure Joseph can help me out with that. I'm using a Blue Compass arm to hold my mic in place, and it is going directly into a Go XLR, and that Go XLR is feeding into the computer, not into the Mevo directly, so it's slightly different.
It's a little bit different there. It looks like you froze up on me. Let me know if it's frozen on your end. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little
let
bit
me
frozen.
refresh it real quick.
Sure. So let's talk about my setup. So I am using the Mevo as a wireless webcam. That is going into my computer via the wireless webcam app. My audio is coming through this microphone right here. This is the Blue Baby Bottle. That is then going through a compressor and then going into an EQ, a mixing soundboard. Now, the reason why I do that is that allows me to take that signal and then spread it around. So now I can send that signal to multiple different Mevos using a headphone amplifier. From there, my lighting, I am using two Litra glows, which are actually over here now, a little bit of adjustment. And from my, so that's webcam, audio, and lighting. All right, so that should be it for me. Let's see if I can get Will back in here. I'm waiting on Will to get back. All right, so let's talk about my issues over the weekend. So I generally run these shows off of an iMac, which actually crashed, and I lost pretty much everything. It was kind of a nightmare. So now I'm actually switched gears. I'm running this off of a different computer now, while I take care of that. But what's cool about this is we're able to do these shows literally off a MacBook Pro. What's cool is I have my wireless webcam feed, which is coming into my MacBook Pro wirelessly, and then everything audio-wise is connecting directly to the Mevo. So I don't really need anything directly going to the computer either from the camera, which is really cool. So as I said, today is Ask Mevo Anything, and that means we are definitely going to look at the chat. So if you are watching and you're with us live, hop in the chat. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what your setup is like and how you're using the Mevo while we wait for Will to get in here. Okay. Let's see here. Let me exit this out. Cool. So let's go to the chat real quick and see what's going on there. It looks pretty light, and for a Tuesday, it's pretty light for us right now, but let's check it out. Rafa on Facebook, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you watching. I wanted to know, when are we going to be able to put the Mevo configuration option by LAN? In the multicam program, until now, it only lets you configure Mevo Wi-Fi or access point from another Mevo, but it does not give you the option of a network cable. So, great question. You can absolutely run the Mevo off of Ethernet. So let me show you how to do that real quick. Let me pull up my server here, and I'll see if I can get you a demo. Okay, let me pull up my server. So I'm using an app called Air Server to send my signal from my tablet, which is a Android tablet, and I'm going to bring that into my Mac and then back into Melon as well. So let's bring this in right here. Cool. So let's go into our Mevo app. Now I'm going into, I know you mentioned the multicam app, but I'm going into the regular Mevo app just to show you that this Mevo here is connected via Ethernet, and I can actually use this within the multicam application. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the Mevo, if you look where it says network there, kind of, it might be hard to see. Let me see if I can spotlight this here. See under says network, it says Ethernet. So as long as the Mevo is connected to the Ethernet, it will use the LAN signal. Now, if you're saying, do you want to hook the multicam application from your tablet into Ethernet, that's a whole different thing. And it looks like Will's back, so let's get his opinion on that. Hey, Will.
Yeah.
How's it going?
What's up, man? Yeah, so I just saw the question is connecting via Ethernet using the multicam app. So you can definitely use Mevos on Ethernet, but in terms of the UI, being able to switch back and forth, unfortunately, that's not quite there yet.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Well, I'm just rolling through. We got some people showing up. It looks like Pastor Ben Beckner is up. What's up, Ben? How are you? Thanks for watching us on Twitch. Also,
Ben.
if you're not sure where to watch us, we're going to get into that in a second. Julie Bell is chiming in on YouTube from Ohio. Hi, Julie. She streams city council meetings with 3 Mevo starts. That must be pretty cool. Definitely more engaging for people watching those, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back, Will. They can't let you go. They're not gonna let you get away with it.
I appreciate it.
All right, Jared, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you, my friend. And checking in from Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us. I do appreciate it. All right, cool. So, Will, we have a bunch of stuff we need to talk about today. One thing is, as we mentioned earlier, let me get Jared out of here. This is technically the last Ask Mevo Anything. So, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, this has been around for a very long time, and we've been talking recently about the start of Ask Mevo Anything and Mevo Live, and it was actually a very long time ago if you count Joe's initial show, which I think he was saying was what, like 2018?
I think it was like 2018.
Yeah.
I think that's when it was.
So yeah, the show, the whole like birth of the show from where Joe was just answering questions on his own before he was even part of Mevo, and now we are changing the show from just Mevo to all of Logitech stuff, or all of our streamers and creators stuff.
Yeah. So to point that out, we are ending the show. So Ask Mevo Anything will be over as of today. The Mevo Live show will also be over, actually as of last week. And the reason being, and I'm not seeing the uproar that I was expecting in chat, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But the reason being is, give me 1 second. Let me go to my ticker here. Shut you off. Nice. I'm getting used to these hotkeys.
That's pretty sweet.
So, Will, why don't you talk us through this slide I'm about to show?
Yeah. All right. So, very first thing, as you can see in the top right or left corner, we've got Equipped Live, which is the new show title. So, what's cool about this is covering all of the Logitech C products. So, we've got the Lytra Glow, we've got the Mevo Start, we've got the Stream Cam. And there's even more products that we don't have in this picture. We've got obviously Streamlabs that we used last week and all of their various products. We'll be talking more about Melon. So basically, you're going to get a lot of the same content that you've been getting from Mevo Live and Ask Mevo Anything. But now we're going to be able to talk about even more products that you might use or already are using, and so we can help out with that as well. So we've got our shows still Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But now you have to come to Logitech for Creators on YouTube or on Twitch, Logitech C.
Yep. So new home, a little bit different of a show, and like you said, like during the evolution of this Mevo Live show, we've taken it from just the Mevo, which obviously we're going to still be talking about, so don't worry about that. We're definitely still going to be covering Mevo things, and we're definitely going to be here to answer your questions regarding the Mevo. We are the subject matter experts on the Mevo for Logitech, so there we have you. Now, where the door opens up is being able to use the other Logitech products just more in-depthly, right? Things like the Stream Cam, things like the Lytra Glows, the Blue microphones, maybe even the Blue Yetis, the Blue XLRs, so we can differentiate between those, and it just opens up the doors for us to just talk about more stuff and help you, the users and the creators, maybe elevate your streams. So let us know in the comments what you think about that. The first show of Equipped Live is going to be officially this Thursday, and we have a huge show planned for that. So, Will, what are we going to be looking at for some things for this Thursday's Equipped Live?
Yeah, so for this Thursday show, we wanted to do a kind of blowout show for our first show. We want to do some games and some giveaways. We're going to be giving away Lytra glows, stream cams, Blue Yeti microphones, really like all this stuff that we're going to be talking about going forward with this show. We're now going to be giving a lot away in the first one.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely join us this Thursday, and you might get a chance to win some cool new Logi gear. So it's also important too to talk about where the whole philosophy of everything's going, right? So we're part of the Logitech for Creators division of Logitech, and this is basically the division that focuses specifically on creators using streaming stuff to get their stuff out there. So Streamlabs, like we mentioned, Blue, Mevo, Streamcams, all that stuff. So as we move forward through this, I lost my train of thought there. As we move forward through this, we're going to be focusing on the Logitech for Creators products to make that clear. So it kind of opens up where normally we're only talking about one Mevo. Now we could talk about, I don't know, 10 different products now.
Right. But like when you think about it, a lot of this show is, people are asking questions that are related to Mevo, but not necessarily about the Mevo itself. So we're already kind of doing this in a more casual way. If you ask us about different Blue mics, obviously we have lots of demos and tutorials on that we've done through the past few months or so. And, we obviously last show we went into Streamlabs. So this is just a continuation of that basically. So we're still trying to support as many things as possible. It's now just more official.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need your help too. So whatever you want to see us do, or if there's a product out there on the Logitech for Creators line that you want to hear us break down or maybe get really in depth with, let us know. So things like the past few weeks, we did multicam demos, we did audio demos, we did Streamlab demos, and it seems like a lot of people really like that. So we're definitely going to be doing more of that. We're also going to try and give you a little bit more content as far as like what's happening in the streaming community. So we're going to bring in streamers, bring in content creators, look at their setups, talk about how they use their equipment, and really just discuss best practices for different types of scenarios. All right, Will, we got some questions coming in. What do you say we take a look at those? I think you kind of bounced on us for a sec here. I'll hide you there. So, looks like... What's going on, Pastor Daryl? Hello, I have my popcorn ready for the show. Man, that's awesome. I appreciate you always joining us and always supporting us, and hopefully you keep supporting us live. Just so you know, I know you're watching on Facebook. Good news is you don't have to go anywhere different on Facebook. We will still be streaming to the Mevo Facebook page for the new show. Yeah, well, but he says no, but it helps that you guys aren't going away. Nope. We're not going anywhere. I know we kind of buried the lead there, but we're not going anywhere. We definitely will be, you, Will, and I, twice a week, talking about this stuff and solving problems. And let's see. End of an era. It's been a terrific show. We cannot wait to see the great stuff you guys will bring us. Thank you, Baking Potato, and thank you for always participating. You always come up with some great questions, so we do appreciate it. And be sure, if you haven't yet, guys, go to those accounts. This way you can catch the show on Thursday, maybe, participate and maybe win a prize. So youtube.com/Logitech for Creators. And then on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Logitech C. Bring Will back in here. Well, how's it going, bud? Can't hear you. I think you might be muted. All right, let's keep going. Pastor Ben, I was waiting for you to finish before I said, what? Yeah. I was hoping to instill some type of reaction, burying the lead there, but appreciate it though. But again, we're not going anywhere, so don't worry about it. Gordon from Arkansas, thank you for joining us, Gordon.
What's up, Gordon?
Twitch, appreciate it. Always killing it. Oh, this is a good one. Bacon Potato, Equipped Live, awesome name. Awesome.
Nice.
I'm happy you like it. I'm very happy you like it.
Yeah, lots and lots of exciting stuff coming. I'm really hyped for it.
Here we go. Sign me up. Can I get on the list of giveaways? I know you will be, because what we're going to do is we're going to be doing them live on the show. So we have a couple of ways that we want to do the giveaways, but we also might have some surprise giveaways just for watching the show and participating. And Jarrett, you know you always participate, so I'm sure your name's definitely going to be on that list.
Yeah, for sure.
Julie, looking forward to the new show. Thank you, Julie, and thank you for watching today. Looks like we have a question here. Well, let's check it out. This is, after all, Ask Mevo Anything.
Do you guys have any plans for Adobe Premiere integration for post-production, similar to what the Sling Studio had?
That's a good question.
That is interesting. There aren't any current plans for that, but it's certainly an interesting idea. You know, obviously there's a few ways that you can use Adobe Premiere, but in terms of direct integration, it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, and we actually did do that years ago with Livestream Studio, right? With Studio Mode, where we had a direct link into the software, into Livestream Studio, so which is still there. Like if you have Livestream Studio 6, you can still use it. And that was a direct link to get the cameras into the streaming software. And also, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Will, doesn't NDI have something going on with Adobe, or is that with Final Cut? I think it's Adobe.
I'm not sure. I think you're right. I think it is Adobe. So what Joseph is talking about is that you are able to do, there is an NDI integration to Adobe Premiere, which would make sense. So you could just set up your Mevo in NDI mode and you're good to go.
You know what, Blake? I'm interested to see how you'd want to use the Mevo in a program like Adobe, because if you're not using something like Streamlabs, where you could do a lot of your editing live, unless you're recording directly into Premiere, which would be interesting too. I'm curious. Let us know how you plan on using that, or what your thoughts there on that. All right. Rob coming in. This sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Rob. And actually, Rob, thank you for always watching us and supporting us. And you just reminded me of something that I'm going to talk about right now. And first, before I do that, let me get this chat out of here. So Rob reminded me of this because Rob joined us in one of our user testers. So if you are looking to try some of the new products that we are talking about, or maybe get your hands on some stuff that's not out yet, become a user tester. So unreleased products, packaging, software, and firmware. You can follow the link here, or you can follow the link in the description on the YouTube page. If you're watching on YouTube, it should be right in the description there. If you're watching on Facebook, it should be there too. And these links will also be posted on the new channels as well. But sign up, become a user tester, and maybe get your hands on some new gear. I know Rob definitely joined one of our tests and helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that we're getting more and more.
Deuces.
I know.
What were you gonna say?
It's good times. I like that we're starting to get more and more people, especially regulars, that are coming to each show doing some testing with us. I think it's fantastic to have that kind of tight-knit community of people that really know what kind of products that would be good for their kind of setups.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, let's check out this. So, is anyone having issues with the latest macOS 12.3 with the Mevo wireless webcam app? I wanted to check before I upgraded some of the sites I stream for. I haven't tried 12.3. The most my computer goes up to right now is like 11.6. You have 12.3 loaded up?
Let me see. Yeah, I do actually. I do. Yeah, so I'm on 12.3 and I have not had any issues with wireless webcam. I'm not using that right now for this stream, but I do use it for meetings and stuff like that on my laptop.
Awesome. So there you go. There it is. Rob said happy to help and ready to help again. Awesome. Way to be part of the community. Thank you, Rob. We do really appreciate it. Here's a good question. St. Peter's Lutheran Church, St. Albert. Was it St. Peter or is it St. Albert? Oh, hey, from Alberta. All right. We use PowerPoints for our in-person folks. Any way to connect that directly to the Mevo without having to download each slide and control them separately? Interesting. So, Will, a couple of ways you can do this. What are you
Yeah.
thinking first?
The first is if you're doing a single Mevo, right? You can just load it into the Mevo app.
Right. So if you're doing a single Mevo app, you can load in a PDF slideshow, and you should be able to actually just click through the slideshow from the graphics inside the Mevo app. Now, if you're using a multicam application, then you're gonna have to use something like Streamlabs to bring in your graphics in that manner, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you're using multicam, you can't bring in the entire presentation. Unfortunately, it is something that we are looking at for adding in the future because I know a lot of people want to use multicam and have these big presentations that they share.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks like Will is frozen again. Yeah, well, Will's having some internet issues lately. All right, but I believe what he was saying there is it depends on your setup, right? So if you're using something where you can bring multicam into, let's say, a laptop, you can use something like Streamlabs and do your graphics there. But if you're using the single Mevo in the single cam app, you can do PDFs through there as well. Let's see if Will's back. Nope. All right. All right. By the way, spatial audio. Okay. This is something, by the way, spatial audio iOS is actually really cool for Melon. Surprised that that's working. Is that on the iOS? Yeah, right. So that's Melon for the iOS app. That's cool. Thank you for that. So that's it for questions right now. So while we wait for Will to dive back in, let me talk about a couple of things here. So again, the new shows will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, same schedule, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, youtube.com/Logitech for creators, twitch.com or twitch.tv, well, that will work as well, /Logitech C, facebook.com/Mevo Camera. So we would definitely be sticking with the Mevo Facebook group. So if you're on there and you watch these shows and you get a lot of information out of them, no worries, we'll still be there as well. And then also, if you haven't updated your Mevo multicam, oh, hold on, that's the multicam madness. Here we go. The multicam 1.4 came out earlier this month, and there is a lot of fun stuff going on with it. The Mevo multicam to computer via wireless webcam. So now, like we were mentioning earlier, you can get 3 different camera angles sent to your computer via your wireless webcam. You can now also stream directly to Twitter. And we also have some new and improved advanced audio mixer features, which I went over a few weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. So head over to the Mevo Camera YouTube page if you want to see the replay on that. We go in depth on how the audio mixer works. So let's see. Oh, Will's not back yet. Cool. All right. So let's see. Go back into questions and see how we're doing. So again, if you have questions, please post them in the chat. And if you have questions about the new show, the new time, well, same time, new show, but the new philosophy behind the show, please ask me about that as well. All right, and it looks like Will's back. Let's bring him in here. Probably having some internet issues. Let's see. Having some network issues there, Will?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting debug for sure. Yeah, I've switched around from a couple different video sources now, and so hopefully now we're good.
Okay, I mean it seems good. Looks at least on my end, you look in sync. The video quality, it looks good. Looks like
Yep.
chat. I mean, everyone must still be stunned that this is the last technical Ask Mevo Anything because the chat's not lighting up as normally as it does. But that's okay.
Well, I think that they are, they're happy and content with the fact that they know that they can still find us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. and 11 a.m. Pacific. So not a ton is changing, but it's certainly allowing us to do more. And I think that once we get into more of what we're going to be doing with the show, I think that people will get more and more excited about it because we're thinking of like a bunch of show series that we're going to do, whether we're comparing one product with another product or we're talking to like influencers about how they have their setup and what products that they're using. So yeah, we're going to be able to do a lot more exciting stuff with this new show format. So that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty hyped about that.
All right. Yeah, I was actually just looking to see if I can give an example of that slideshow question because I used to
Yeah.
have a PDF slideshow loaded up on this, but I think it may have gotten deleted. It was from the old audio show. So for those that have been with us for the past few years, at one point we were doing 4 shows a week. Right? We were doing Ask Mevo
Yeah.
Anything, and then Will would have a specific multicam show. Then Thursdays was Mevo Live, where it was either you and me or Joe and you, or whatever combination of the three of us. And then
Yeah.
Fridays, I had an audio show that was dedicated specifically to getting audio into the Mevo. So it's just interesting to see where we are now. Leslie saying exciting. She's excited to hear the news about the new show. Thanks for joining us, Leslie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, Will, as far as like what's going to be some of the things that we're going to be talking about, let me ask you, like, what are you looking most forward to? I think, like, for me, Mevos obviously have the most to them, I would say. And maybe some of like the G Hub stuff with the Blue Yeti can get really fun. What are you looking forward to?
Um, I'm looking forward to being able to just cover a bigger range, right? Like the Mevo obviously has tons and tons of features, and it's got more and more software that's coming out and all that stuff. And we're just expanding the Mevo constantly. But that being said, is there's a lot of times where we have shows where we're covering similar topics that we've covered in the past. Because if you do 2 shows a week, it kind of works out that way that you have to cover similar topics. But now every show is going to be a lot more unique. But in terms of the specific products I'm excited to try out and talk about on shows, I'm pretty excited to dive into Streamlabs more. I think that there's a lot in that ecosystem that we can
Right.
cover.
I feel like there's a lot in that ecosystem that a lot of people don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
Especially some of the people that are watching this show. Maybe they've only used the Mevo as the Mevo, right? Maybe they haven't incorporated a computer or something like Streamlabs yet. So it'll be interesting to show like how you can evolve your setup a little bit, and it kind of grows, and little pieces here get added in to really enhance the stream. A couple of questions coming in too.
Yeah.
Jerry on Facebook says he loves the Mevo multicam. He's been using the RTMP protocol. Well, the P in RTMP is protocol to broadcast to restream. It's like ATM machine. When people say ATM machine, right?
Right. Yeah.
And post-stream analysis from Restream provides warning that the recommended frame rate is 1.0, and it's measuring mine at 1.01. Should I be concerned here? It looks great in the replay, but seemed like a good question to ask. Yeah, so...
Yeah, the same thing.
What's that?
We were getting the same thing when we were doing
We
Restream.
were. I don't remember if that was a setting that we were running out of OBS at the time. Because weren't we using it at that? Because wasn't there like maybe Joe would know this more. Maybe if he's watching, he can chime in. I believe there was like a frame rate setting that you, or something. There was a setting that you had to have that set to like 2.
There is definitely a setting when you're in Streamlabs or OBS or something like that. But in terms of directly from the Mevo software, like the multicam app that you're using, RTMP is any way you're connecting a lot of services like YouTube and Restream. They want a different frame rate or a different bit rate. But it's not going to be a problem. Like it's the same as YouTube when YouTube says this bit rate is not right or this bit rate is not ideal or whatever it says. It's the same issue. It's just like they want a specific thing, but they're going to get something else, but it still works. It's not noticeable.
Yeah, we got the chime in from Joe too. It's the same thing as the warning on YouTube. So if you've seen sometimes on YouTube, you'll get like that yellow bar, and it just says like the encoder is receiving faster than it's supposed to, or not receiving as fast as it's supposed to, right? But it's just a warning because just the way the two machines are encoding, but it's not actually affecting the stream. So if you don't see anything, Jerry, happening with your stream, I think you could safely ignore that.
Yeah.
Roundabout, long-winded way of getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, follow-up from Blake. Awesome. So Blake says, what I'm suggesting is after a person do a production with the Mevo, it would be great if we could import the footage to Premiere Pro sequence without all the mixing data and audio synced for editing. with all the mixing data. Oh, well, you kind of can. I mean, if you're doing your ISO recordings, you can record to each individual Mevo on their each individual shot for each individual SD card. What I mean is,
Right.
every single Mevo has an SD card slot right here. So if you're doing a multicam recording, you can record this angle to this SD card for each camera. So you can bring that into Adobe, no problem. And then what you can also do is you can record the actual edited mix, the live edit, onto your device. So if you're using an Apple device or a Android device, you can record the entire edited version, the live edited version, onto that device. So if you're bringing that stuff back into Adobe, you can have basically 4 tracks, right? You can have your edited version and then your 3 individual shots, and then you can sync, edit, change, fix, move, whatever you want to do from there. So you can absolutely do that. Now, having it go directly, like a direct line to Adobe, I mean, that's not something that we could do just yet. But cool idea, if that's what you were saying.
Yeah, I like that.
Just an idea, yeah. All right. Well, Jared's going to leave us for today. Normally, he hangs out with us for the whole show, but it's cool. We understand you have a life and a job that you have to pertain to, so we'll let it slide, but don't let it happen again.
Be here on Thursday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm excited for Thursday's show. I think it's going to be an interesting show. We have a lot planned. I'm excited to give things away. I know we did that for Christmas, and we actually did that for like 6 months up to Christmas, right? We're doing like monthly giveaways.
Yeah.
And that was cool. It was interesting to see, especially the people that engage in the show. I think even like Fred the Hippo, he's not here today, but he won something. So that's always good to see.
Yeah. It's always fun doing giveaways.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, Will, we talked about the new shows. We talked about the new direction. What are some of the things that we want to bring to the table other than just product talk, right? Let's talk a little bit about education. A lot of the show is literally getting into the weeds and troubleshooting the ins and outs of what these apps can do, what these hardware products can do. So as far as getting into like the weeds of things, we mentioned Streamlabs. Well, what else are we going to be talking about? Not just connection wise, but like production wise.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what we want to do is just cover every aspect of the production, right? Whether it's for streaming content or your recording content, we want to talk about the importance of every single step. So, like, obviously, the Lytra glows are going to be a big focus, just talking about lights and the importance of lighting in your production, and also kind of just explaining more about what kind of lighting information is out there. Obviously, people understand brightness and temperature, but there's actually a lot more to lighting that we want to get into. We'll talk more about lots and lots about audio, I'm sure. I mean, as you know, Joseph can do a deep dive on all these new mics that we have. And so we're going to be able to talk about audio. We're going to be able to talk about video quality, obviously continuing to talk about the network aspect of streaming. We'll talk about bandwidth and all that important stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what we're already doing, but just in a broader sense, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, like the network aspect of streaming. I mean, that's literally the number one thing I think we get asked about is when there's a network problem. Like why does this not connect to that, or why is this affecting this?
Yeah.
And it's the the fundamental backbone of streaming is having a network that you can stream on, right? And having equipment that can run on that network. So interesting stuff. Here we go. Let's take a look. Oh, we got Jose coming in. Let's see what he says. Jose says, "Hi everyone. Have you guys thought about doing a 2K or 4K camera, but still outputting 1080p so that when we zoom in, the image quality will be better?" Well, Jose, we actually did that already. We did that with the Mevo Plus. The Mevo Plus was a 4K sensor. Same idea, and that was the core of that unit, was to be able to have a 4K image that you could then zoom in and crop in for the individual static shots, which is really what makes the Mevo so great and the Mevo software so great. But yeah, that's a great idea, and it's definitely something that we are looking into for sure. Right now, the Mevo Start is 1080, and the reason why we went with that is just because it allowed us to open up doors to a lot of other features. Like, Will, I mean, you can probably speak to this list more than I can, but like the battery life, the just the connectivity with the Ethernet, the PoE, not needing the boost, things
Right.
like that.
The
Um,
price.
the price,
Yeah.
right? Price is a huge thing. That's true. I mean, if you're talking 4K, you're talking, a huge difference in price and what it costs to even make it and design it. So, but with that being said, we're always trying to push things. We're always trying to make things better.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
And also, we did
great
find,
call out.
with the Plus, with the 4K sensor, most people would end up taking it and cropping it in anyway because it was that sort of fisheye lens. And so
Hmm.
people weren't even taking that 4K. Um, so, well, I
Yeah.
think it's an excellent point of being able to have 4K and then being able to crop in. Still, obviously your crops have to be, I don't know, 30% in or something like that to get that benefit. But if you're cropping in like a big amount in your Mevo, then it's still going to be less than 1080p.
And it's also going to be, I mean, depending on how tight your crops are, is where you start to see the angle of the 2D
Right.
image as well. So, like for example, right now all we see is me on my angle, but if I were to crop in one side, it's noticeable that you're still only seeing a 2D image the closer you are to like a certain spot of it. Like it's like an illusion almost, to where like it warps the image if you get too close. Where when you pull out
Right.
to the full wide shot, you're getting the actual frame you're intended to look at. If you're not familiar, this is what the Mevo Plus looks like. I'm trying to hold that up for you guys. So this is the one that had the 4K sensor on it. This one's been discontinued. It had about a 45-minute battery life. So just in that alone, I mean, you can't beat the Mevo Start.
Battery, heat, price. Yeah.
Mounting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good question.
Everything.
And it's definitely a good call out. And obviously, 4K, 8K, things like that are going to be where the future is going. But there's so much to consider with when you're dealing in such large file formats, especially if you're doing something like this, where we're doing a stream where even our 1080p videos are being shrunken down just to fit the frame of the show.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also a matter of like transmitting that large of a file. You got to think a 4K file is literally 4 times bigger than a 1080p file, right? So, um, you're looking at literally 4 times as much data you have to send through your stream, 4 times as much bandwidth you're probably going to need to even compensate for the data, depending on your compression algorithms. Um, there's a lot that goes
Yeah.
into that, so for sure. But good question. I like it. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Jeff, it says, when streaming Mevo through Facebook, I get a notice that Facebook says, bring them on camera. When someone joins, I know they can watch without pushing them on camera, but does the actual mean what does that actually mean, if anything? Bring them on camera. I'm not familiar with that. Is there a way to bring guests on Facebook streams now? Is that a thing? Did that fly under the radar for me?
I don't know. I mean, I know you can do like chat over like Messenger.
Yeah, Jeff, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest with you. From what you're
Yeah.
saying, if there's an option to bring people on camera and you're doing a stream, I mean, I would think it does just that. Kind of like the guest feature in Melon here. But I never knew Facebook had that option. So that's a good question, and it's something I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna be looking into. Thank you.
Interesting.
Leslie says she still uses the Mevo Plus and the Boost along with the Mevo Starts too. Never used the fisheye looking lens. Yeah, I mean, as
Yeah.
Will said, it wasn't something that was often sought out for the reasons people were using that camera. Like fisheye lenses are generally associated with things like action cameras, skate videos. That's what I think when I think of like stuff that's moving that you need a wide shot that you don't necessarily have to be worried about where you're pointing your camera. You can just kind of capture everything.
Right.
Having those extra wide shots. But that's really cool that you still use that. I'm glad it's still kicking. I mean, mine is too. Still going, still works.
I also want to mention that the sensor itself is actually like a big factor, right? So
Hmm.
in the Mevo Plus, it's actually a smaller sensor. So the larger sensor in the Mevo Start actually has, I would say visibly almost better quality than the 4K start because it's just a bigger, better sensor.
4K plus.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right, it lets more light in, right? Just having the bigger lens anyway.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage as well. Low light.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But great question. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Let's see what else we have here. Gordon chiming in from Twitch saying the Mevo multicam still lets me use my Mevo Plus. Thanks for keep things backwards compatible. Yeah, that's actually a great call out, Gordon. We do, yeah. So if you do have, like Leslie has her Mevo Starts and her Mevo Pluses, I'm sure she uses the multicam app by now. But yeah, you can absolutely mix and match. So if you do want that wider shot and have that 4K image, you can. And then you can also use your Mevo Starts to get something a little closer. This is a great example if you're doing like I would say two things, like baseball or concerts. Like if you want a big wide angle for like a big stage on a concert or something like that, some type of performance. I can see that combination working really well, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
So in terms of, I know we don't have too much time left, but I'd love to hear from everybody about their thoughts about not just the change in itself. Obviously, we've been talking about the change, but just like, what are some of the things that you've seen in the Logitech ecosystem that you would love us to cover? You know, are you interested in one product or another product? Are you interested in, you know, having a multicam setup, but also using a stream cam at the same time? You know, using the Mevo and using the Lytra Glows and how that works out and all that stuff. Just let us know what you're interested in seeing in the future.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see the awareness, right? I'm curious to see if you're aware of what the Logitech for Creators, product line is, as far as, or in different ways you can use it and what's out there. So let us know your experiences. Let us know if you had a good experience with Logitech stuff, if you have bad experience with Logitech stuff. We want to hear it all, because we want to really gauge where we're at and see where we can go with these new products.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're not familiar with the specific Logitech products and that we've been talking about, Logitech for Creator products, definitely follow the socials down in the ticker down there. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you'll see tons and tons of content about what's out there, as well as, you know, new announcements and stuff like that. So definitely follow those.
Yeah, and actually, if you follow those, I mean, really, if you just follow them at all, you'll see that they're doing a lot of giveaways as far as the Logitech for Creators section is too. So not only can you win stuff on the show by watching the show, but you can actually sign up and join some contests through Logitech Creators and maybe win some of the free stuff as well. It's really cool because we're trying to build out an ecosystem where you only have to go one place to get stuff, right? So if you're building, let's say you're either building a desktop style setup or an in-home setup, or if you want to get mobile, the product line really kind of speaks to those. So we have the Mevos, obviously you could take anywhere, and our Mevo customer base, we know that, right? But then there's also things like the Stream Cam and things like the Blue Yeti that are maybe more geared towards having at a desktop setup, or even like the Blue Baby Bottle, what I'm using today, which really I can't be taking this with me, but my Blue Yeti I can. So there's different combinations of products that you can use depending on what your needs are for your project.
Yeah, 100%.
So again, let me get rid of these. Shift T, gone. So let's talk about the show schedule. Same schedule, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Got to get used to saying that. Thanks for moving, Will. And the new show is called Equipped Live, and you can find us at youtube.com/Logitech for Creators, twitch.com or twitch.tv/Logitech C, and facebook.com/Mevo Camera. All right, let's get rid of you. Cool. So we've covered the show. We've answered some questions. Looks like questions are slowing down. So one thing I want to point out too is when we move the show and we start focusing and putting more depth into the shows, I want to make sure that we still get the engagement that we always get from you guys. So as we get deeper and deeper into things, I want everyone that watches the show to just join us, right? If you have questions, put them in the chat, Get it out there while you can, while we're doing everything live, because you engaging is what drives this show forward for sure.
Yeah, and even if it's not a question, right? Like even if you don't have a specific issue or you don't have any like question prepared or anything like that, like let us know your thoughts on the things that we're demoing and the things we're testing out. We're gonna probably do some nice live experimenting with different software and hardware and stuff like that. So just like feel free to chime in, obviously, all the time. And also, we're really hoping people will move over to YouTube and Twitch because the best conversations are happening right there. It's also better quality, so it's good reason to be over there. And yeah, like some of the things that I want to test that are not necessarily Logitech for creators products, but like our software that can work with it is we're going to be trying out Nightbot, which is
Uh-huh.
that service for the show. And Nightbot is interesting because it'll take chatter feedback from I think Twitch only, and then we can like do like live polls. We can do really specific shout outs using like hashtags and stuff like that. So it'll be really interesting to play with that.
Yeah, and I think we have a good dynamic going into it because I'm not as familiar with like the Streamlabs like ecosystem as far as like all the widgets that they can do and all the other add-ons that Streamlabs has to offer. They have a ton.
It's so
So
much.
yeah, exactly. So I'm very excited to learn about that. Obviously, I come from more of like the analog background where I'm wires, buttons, and knobs, right? But
Yeah.
being able to do this stuff internally, I'm looking forward to learn myself on how to get better at that and how to utilize these things in a better way. Even just coming to Melon, when we came to Melon, was just such an improvement as far as the capabilities of what we can do for our streams.
Really is. And which actually makes me think, we were just talking about Nightbot, but Melon also has that those chat bots that we haven't played
Hmm.
with yet. So that's another thing we'll have to explore. Honestly, the
Yeah.
Streamlabs ecosystem, like you said earlier, is much, much bigger than I think most people know.
Right, right. So this is a good opportunity for us to A, learn some things, B, teach some things, and everyone that's watching can join us on that journey moving forward. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. All right, Will, we got about 10 minutes left. It looks like chatter has slowed down. I'm okay pumping the brakes right now, but before we go, I do want to mention that if you do want to try out some of the products that we're discussing or some of the newer versions of the products that we're discussing, become a user tester. So follow this link or click the link in the description of our YouTube page, and you will see a form to fill out where you can test unreleased products, packaging, software, and firmware releases. And you can also give us your insight on what you think we could improve on. So it's a good opportunity if you're someone who's really into this stuff, and especially like actually, I was Les here? Yeah. I didn't even see Les today. Did we see Les today? Because he's really into this stuff.
No, I didn't see him.
I didn't see him, but like some of our users that are really into this. If you guys want to join the team and test out some products, if you haven't signed up yet, absolutely sign up. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you haven't been chosen yet, which I see that in chat,
Yeah,
don't worry. We have so many products coming out that we're working on and so many things that we want to test. So
yep,
don't worry
yeah,
about it. Your chance will come, I'm sure.
yeah. We're gonna be doing these kind of tests pretty much all the time moving forward.
Yeah.
So definitely, if it takes a couple of months to get picked for something, it's just the way that test rolled out. Or we were looking for something cool to get you. We'll
Yeah.
keep that in mind as well. Oh, Smirno's here. Hey, Smirno. I know
What's
Smirno signed
up?
up for our test as well. I believe I think he got chosen for something. I could have sworn I saw his name recently. But what's up, Smirno? Thanks for joining us. All right, Will, let's put a bow on this episode. Let's put a bow on the era of Ask Mevo Anything. We've had a lot of fun with the show. We've had a lot of like really great conversations with our users. Smirno says he didn't get an email. All right, so maybe they didn't get sent out yet. I could have sworn I saw your name on a list though, so we'll check that, Smirno. Cool.
Yeah, man. End of an era, but I'm really excited for the future for sure.
Absolutely. So again, if you want to join us this Thursday, March 31st, for the very first episode of Equipped Live. And this is going to be a lot of fun for us. I'm super excited. I really hope that everyone joins us and comes over and chats with us on the new show. And again, here's the information you need for it. YouTube.com/Logitech for Creators. So if you're watching us on YouTube.com right now, make sure that you go ahead and follow Logitech for Creators, and that's where the live shows will be starting this Thursday. Twitch.com or twitch.tv/Logitech C, and Facebook.com/Mevo Camera. Of course, we're going to stay there and hang out with everybody in the Mevo Camera crew because they're the backbone of the show for sure.
Definitely.
All right, and this is another reason why we do these shows. Jarrett on Twitch. Well, I thought he was going to do some work stuff, but he says anyone in the Memphis area that needs help with their Mevo implementation, hit up Jarrett. He'll be happy to help out. Hit up but on Twitch. I'll tell you this, Jared, he's been joining all of our shows, and he always has some good insight, and I know he knows his stuff. So if you're in the area and you need help with that, hit him up. That's awesome to see. I love seeing the community offering to help each other. He says he's multitasking. That's hilarious.
Nice. We appreciate it, man.
Yep. Smino says he's subscribed and he activated the bell. You know what? Thanks for calling that out. Activate that notification bell. Make sure you get notified every Tuesday and Thursday when we go live. Thank you for bringing that up. Doing our job really better than we are.
Yeah, nailed it.
Jared says he's multitasking. I love it. I love it. All right. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right. So again, looking forward to it. Thursday is going to be a big day. Join us for your chance to win something. I'll see you there.
Yeah, man. See you Thursday.
See you Thursday, everybody.